All right. Well, Sony is going to Sony. It looks like they're gutting Crunchyroll now. They're getting rid of manga, physical manga, and physical Blu-rays. And
yeah, people aren't happy about it. I saw it earlier. Yeah.
This is crazy, but it tracks because again, with the PlayStation, they've shown that they don't care about physical media, and I think a day is going to come very soon where Sony just stops making Blu-ray altogether. We've talked about this before. Right now, Sony, my understanding is Sony's making the majority of Blu-rays for studios that got out of home video, including Disney, but also I think Universal and a couple other companies that don't want to manufacture their own stuff. But they're already turning a lot of the DVD and Blu-ray factories into like lens factories for AI.
Yeah.
It might get to a place where they're just like, you know what, it's not even worth doing physical anymore. And then we're looking at Blu-rays, which really aren't that old. I mean, we're talking 20, well, I guess 20 years. It's been a while, but like we're talking about Blu-rays being relegated to the same like niche category, I think, is LPs or CDs. And then when people wanted LP and CD again, they had to fire up the factories and find places that could press records and all that. And I don't know.
Well, I'm just like thinking people don't want this all on digital. Some people like digital, and that's completely fine. A lot of people don't because like to have the physical copy, but they also, worry that at any point in time you can pay for it and they can take it away.
Yeah,
because there's even a lawsuit in California because you said it said buy, not rent, and they lost their stuff. So I think a lot of people are getting concerned because now everything's going to be digital that they could change or take away at any point in time, and you paid for it, but you don't get to keep it.
Yeah, I think that's the big difference. I think people would be more okay with digital if they knew they could keep it. I mean, we're looking at some options right now for our stuff to sell digitally, but the option I'm looking at would allow you to own your file. You basically you get to have it, download it. It's yours. It's got your name stamped on it. It's your file. If we go out of business or whatever, you still have it, right? That's not what they do though on these platforms. You basically are renting it long term. And then if they decide to get rid of it, stop hosting it, the game or the movie or whatever, you lose it. So that is a huge issue. We're going to talk about this. This just broke earlier this morning, I think. They revised the Crunchyroll store and they pulled all the physical stuff out of it. So before we get into it any further, please subscribe for more pop culture news, views, and rants. Guys, you get woohoo if you do.
Woohoo.
Speaking of physical, these pins are physical. Geeky made these pins, and she offered them last year. They sold out, and she's offering them again for a limited time on Kickstarter. If you go out and look for Geeky Sparkles Retro Halloween Revenge Glowing Enamel Pins, you've got a week and a half, and also we're going to be doing a glow-in-the-dark neon pin this time. So thank you so much for the support there. Before we get into what's going on with Crunchyroll, Pirate Nation put a video up of this live stream disaster.
Yes.
Sony left the comments open during the latest Phantom Blade Zero State of Play, and PlayStation fans flooded it. The 20-minute presentation was filled with no disc, no buy comments and disc emojis. A lot of fans said they would buy Phantom Blade Zero if it gets a physical release, but would skip it if it's digital only. The comments continued after the presentation, people calling it Phantom Disc Zero. Like, I'll give you a pass, I think, for an indie title, a studio that maybe it doesn't make a lot of sense. You're not going to sell enough copies to justify a physical run. But when Sony has their own AAA titles, and it's like, look, most people, my understanding is that there are a lot of people that are buying them on physical, the big releases, right? Now, I'm not talking the $20 indie game. I'm talking the $70, first party games. But let's see some of these comments here real quick. And this is just kind of gives you where we're at. Look at all the discs. Phantom disc. This is crazy.
Physical.
Just keeps going. No disc, no buy. Oh my God. You get the idea, right? It's just like, where's the physical version? No disc, no buy. Is there a physical version? I buy day one physical. Greed has no limits. And the disc.
It just goes on and on and on.
It just goes on and on. Yeah.
This is Sony as well, and now we're doing this with Crunchyroll. It's funny though. I was at Goodwill the other day, I like to shop thrift stores. And when I was over there, I was talking to the sales associate about, I was buying some CDs. We were talking about CDs. And she said about how there's a lot of people coming in and they come in to buy, they get physical games and sometimes, and they get CDs or vinyls or different things, or even books. And how there's been an uptick of people buying those things because they don't want the digital stuff. And so they're going to thrift stores, garage sales, online stores, eBay, Mercari, that kind of stuff to try to find what they're looking for because they don't want to support digital only.
Well, I've been buying a lot of physical media lately, and speaking of Goodwill,
I've been buying the physical media mostly for you. So
found this beauty yesterday for $7.99. I got a 21 inch Emerson flat CRT TV with a beautiful picture. The kid said it makes a whistling sound though, but they can probably hear better.
I can't hear the whistling sound. I used to hear electronic sounds. They said young people can hear it, but they were like, it's really loud.
Used to hear the bell. Used to hear the bell. Now Santa Claus doesn't come anymore.
That's right. I like that. Yes.
But yeah, and I was shocked, and I went in to find her. She was lost in the Goodwill shopping, as she is prone to do. And I'm like, oh my God, there's an old TV. And I'm like, well, I don't know if it's gonna work. And I went over and I'm like, at first I thought it was $79.99. And I'm like, I'm not gonna take a chance for that. I'm like, wait, it's $7.99, like the cost of a Starbucks coffee. Yes, I'm gonna buy this television.
Yeah, see if it works. The register, and the salesperson was like, it probably doesn't even work. Well, and we'll try it for $8 and
yeah, we took it home, and all it needed was a new remote because you couldn't switch the inputs without a remote. So we went to Walmart, bought a $10 remote that worked on the old Emerson TV, and I played Sonic Adventure on it last night, and it was beautiful. So there we go, guys.
That's wanting one so bad.
Physically,
he almost bought one for like a couple $100 before, and then you walked out with this one.
Yeah, it's so weird because we actually last CRT, we held on to ours longer, I think, than a lot of people did, because I did have some of my older consoles hooked up to it, but we got rid of it when our daughter was a toddler because we were afraid she was going to kill herself with the television, because it does happen. Kids pull them over.
Back in the day, they were pulling TVs on themselves all the time. Yeah,
and that thing was like 32 inches of the CRT. It was like 200 pounds. It was crazy. Anyway, so that's our physical media story. But yeah, so they're pulling all the Blu-rays out. This is wild. I know the prices are going up on physical media too, because the kids went to Barnes & Noble, and they're like, hey, yeah, the CDs and the records are going through the roof.
Well, prices. I think part of that is because it was Barnes & Noble.
But yeah, so I think physical is going to become like a premium experience, and we're going to have some like niche places that make it. But this is coming from Games Radar. The physical media section at Sony's Crunchyroll is even worse than fans feared after the store update. All books removed and Blu-ray lineup gutted.
So my next question is, are they still going to make them for stores and just not put it on theirs? Or are they just done making it?
Well, this is Sony. This is the Crunchyroll store, right? But they absorb. But
they just carry everything usually, right?
Yeah, they usually carry everything. They also absorbed, was it J-List? There were a couple of stores that they bought up, and it used to be the Funimation. So it was Funimation. That's why Sony got control of Crunchyroll. Right. But they're not publishers per se, but they always had a really good selection of physical media. And this is the wrong audience to piss off when it comes, just my opinion, when it comes to physical media, because anime fans, manga fans, that they more than other groups, I think, want physical media.
But if you're already carrying other physical things like accessories, apparel, collectibles and stuff, why not carry that too? I don't know if it's a matter of storage or is it a matter of these places are going to stop printing it? I don't know. But it's weird that you still keep some physical things, but you get rid of those. To me, it's weird.
So, okay, so it gets worse because I forgot about this. Yeah, the Crunchyroll store is now subscriber only, so it's behind a paywall.
Oh, that's right. I do. Yes, I forgot about
so that. It's like not only is the store paywalled, but they're getting rid of all the physical stuff. This is crazy. They said, yeah, the overhaul has left every book and most Blu-rays behind. Last month, Crunchyroll, now owned by Sony, after the merger, said it was only going to allow Crunchyroll Mega and Ultimate tier subscribers to make purchases. So you have to pay for the opportunity to shop, but what are you buying? Nothing physical. This, like, you see what, like, none of this makes sense.
You're better off just to go, if it's still being made, you're better off just to go like to Amazon or someplace like that, or eBay or someplace like that to get it than it is to give them money. Anyway, especially since they're making you pay to even shop. This is like what Disney would do if they get away with it. You have to buy the ultra mega deluxe, $ times 10 to infinity and beyond package to be able to ride any of the rides.
Yeah, pretty much. And well, Disney did that during the pandemic. They were charging people just to go to downtown Disney, and not Disney Springs, I don't think, but downtown Disney.
It was downtown Disney because Florida was open. California was not.
Yeah, that's right.
So,
that's right.
And it wasn't even that. They did it for downtown Disney, and they did it for like California Adventure, but you couldn't ride anything. You go on the street and buy and go shop in the stores, and you had to pay like parking and pay for a ticket to do it.
They said an everything must go sale accompanied the news, implying that reams of physical media would be delisted with the relaunch. And if anything, the outcome is even worse than expected. As manga alerts flagged on Blue Sky, while Pirate Nation did it on X, but we can't talk about that because it's X. All manga, light novels, manhwa, Korean comics, and Chinese literature have vanished from the Crunchyroll store after today's update. With a clear focus on figures, clothes, and similar merch, the categories under the new store's shop all page are limited to new, accessories, apparel, collectibles, games, home entertainment, music. Well, they want you to buy digital games, digital music.
But a lot of this stuff you can get at places like Barnes & Noble or other places too.
Yeah,
so
now I'm going out to the store
on there.
And it's showing a lot of stuff being on here. That's what, what I'm saying? But they got rid of the books, and I guess they're clearing out.
Blu-rays on there.
There are some. Are these ones that are owned by Crunchyroll, I guess. So it could be a license thing too. Yeah, clearly we have some Blu-ray on here, but I am thinking these are Sony produced.
I don't know, but they said the books
Funimation.
Sure
These
taken.
are Funimation.
The
books are gone. They said physical media is hard to come by. The music page reveals just 10 CDs and vinyl options. Home entertainment hides a scant 387 Blu-ray and DVD sets.
That's with quite a few.
Yeah, representing a massive reduction from the previous catalog. So before they used to have like everything, I guess. It was because they did absorb other stores, but you have to pay for the opportunity to shop and they don't have much to choose from. It's worth noting the whole store is looking piecemeal at the moment with just one entry for the whole games category. Naruto, a Naruto board game. More items will be added even outside the rotating and limited time merch drops, but the books that are hard to buy since Crunchyroll absorbed popular. Yeah, this is it. It was Right Stuff. Okay, I thought it was J-List. It's Right Stuff. Asian Good Shop Right Stuff a few years ago will be restored. Hopefully, I'm not expecting a big button, but the complete abandonment of books makes me wince. The countless missing Blu-ray options, which Manga Alert rightly points out tend to be from outside studios, may remain absent.
Yeah, you said that most of them were Sony or Crunchyroll. Yeah.
Yeah, so it looks like, to me, just from the outside, it looks like they are definitely phasing out physical media in their store. And that just shows like where Sony is at, just their headspace, because they're probably looking at the games division and like, well, everybody's buying their games digitally, so we'll kind of push them into digital for the anime too while we're at it, because it's paying the ass to print discs.
I mean, and then, but it sounds like they're mostly like they eliminated the most of books, and a lot of people like to have the physical copies of books. A lot of people don't, and it's up to you what your preference is. But a lot of people like to have them, and luckily you can still probably get them other places. But if they become more and more scarce, you probably want to get copies of what you're wanting sooner rather than later.
It's like all these companies. We've got another video coming up talking about Amazon and the book burning at Amazon, but it is a very weird thing to see. I mean, again, it came from Right Stuff. That's right. J-List, I think, is the dirty one. I'm pretty sure
I don't know.
They're all dirty.
I didn't hear about J-List. I did know about Right Stuff.
Sony just wants to piss people off this summer, it seems. I like this right here. Can we all stop hating on each other and hate on Sony instead?
I know, that one was beautiful.
Stores bottleneck physical access. See, the metrics say they just prefer digital, so we're eliminating choice. Yeah, that's what I think's going on.
Yeah, I think that's the same with games too. Oh, everybody wants it on digital, but that's the only option you have.
That's the only option you have. Look at how many copies of this we sold digitally. It's like, did you offer discs? Well, no. Then it's like, yeah. It's
we're gonna charge less for the digital version than the physical version. People buy more of the digital because that's what they can afford, and then they get rid of physical and then jack the prices, and the digital will be as high or higher than the physical was to begin with.
Yeah, this is I think company wide this is going to be the new normal, though. I think Sony is going to try to push people away from Blu-ray. I mean, you go to Walmart. I was in Walmart yesterday looking for a remote for the TV, and I did notice that like there are hardly any Blu-rays. Like there's a couple box sets, but it's like a tiny, tiny section. And it's just like, yeah, they don't want to sell this shit. It's the margins are not good. They're going to push you in this direction. It might take a few years, but it's over.
You can still get it online for now, though.
For now. Yep. Stock up, or learn to pirate.
Or go to garage sales, because you can get them for like a buck or two usually at garage sales.
Oh,
well,
yeah,
not anime, but DVDs in general and CDs in general.
Not unless it's the coolest garage sale ever. Then you might get some anime. Are we going to wrap it up?
Yes.
Please subscribe. We'll talk later.